Welcome in, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, and joined again by Brett Franklin of ESPN Radio of the Upper Valley, 94.5 FM. Brett, thanks for coming back another week.
Appreciate the second invite in a row, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
All right, so let's get into it. You're a big Celtics fan, a big Celtics expert. We hear you during the week. They're on a roller coaster this series. We all thought they weren't going to have a shot, counted them out. Stunning win in Game 3 on the road after the serious beatdown in Game 2. Last night, falling a little bit short, blowing a halftime lead. What's your takeaway so far in these 3 games of how this series has gone? 4 games, excuse me, how the series has gone?
Well, I think you have to be really excited if you're a Celtics fan in the sense that your team won out, put up a big fight last night against LeBron and the Cavs, and if it weren't for Kyrie Irving, the series might be tied at 2 games apiece. But I think with the confidence level, it just goes to show you how good Brad Stevens is as a head coach. I think if there's one sport that's hard to motivate players, it's the NBA, right? We've seen when certain guys get down for the count, but give credit to the Celtics, give credit to Brad Stevens. And again, if you can push this to 6, win Game 5 tomorrow night back home and push this to Game 6, I think people will view that as a success.
And we'll get into previewing Game 6 a little bit later, or Game 5, excuse me, a little bit later. Let's go back to that Game 3 win. The motivation that after, what was it, a 44-point loss or something like that in Game 2, and you don't have Isaiah Thomas, the news comes down, and then they get pumped up, they win on the road. Is this team, dare I say, better without Isaiah Thomas, or is it just different and they were able to make it work?
Well, that's been the narrative, right, for all the Celtics fans out there after the Game 3 win, where, we don't need Isaiah Thomas. But then I think last night's game showed that you needed Isaiah Thomas more so than ever. I think the fact that the Celtics didn't have their best player. I think the Cavs didn't really prepare well for that. They didn't prepare who was going to be the go-to guy offensively, so that was kind of an advantage for the Celtics. But, as we progress through this offseason, I think the biggest question is that hip injury to Isaiah Thomas. If it's really significant and he needs surgery, that's going to mean he's going to miss start to the season for next year. And his value now is taking a little bit of a hit if you try and move him during the summer because he is injured. So that's kind of the big thing that I'm worried about. But I just think Game 3, as much as it was an exciting win for the Celtics, an unexpected win for the Celtics, I think obviously we saw them come back to earth tonight. They really needed Isaiah Thomas last night.
Well, and it seems like when they don't have Isaiah, it is a good thing to some degree because they share the ball, they pass it around, they don't rely on Isaiah as a crutch, and he's always there. He'll bail us out when we need him. But when they don't have him, they Al Horford and obviously Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk, obviously with Isaiah Thomas had the big Game 7. But these guys have talent, and they can score too. But sometimes it seems like they use Thomas as a crutch too much. But then when it comes to it in the fourth quarter, like last night, and they needed somebody to score, he wasn't around. So going into that injury, how much of an impact? I mean, can you now say, well, it looks like he's here for this year, and then they do a sign and trade, or is it sure now that they're going to take a draft pick in Fultz because Thomas might not be on this team because of injury?
It's just very weird when the whole injury thing happened, Jeremy, in the sense that it was like, we'll miss you, IT, great job. It was always like people are already sending like a farewell to him, like he's going already. So that was kind of a little interesting here. I think with the Celtics moving forward here, how they play it, obviously the draft is June 22nd, so we got less than a month to go on how they're going to play this moving forward. But that's going to be the real interesting thing. I think what's nice right now, even though you don't have Isaiah Thomas, guys like Jaylen Brown getting a lot of minutes, Terry Rozier, who I'm a big fan of, he's been getting a lot of minutes as well. So I think in the grand scheme of things, some young guys getting some big-time postseason experience right now, and hopefully that carries over into next season.
All right, so quickly before we head to break, don't give us your pick, but Game 5 is Thursday night. They're down 3-1. What are the keys if the Celtics want to extend this thing and send it back to Cleveland?
Well, they're going to need Avery Bradley to be on top of his A game as he has been for the most part this series. And they need somebody else, whether it's Kelly Olynyk, Jaylen Brown. They need somebody to have that off-the-charts type of game. They need someone to drop 30 points and to hit a couple of threes. They might need 2 guys, whether that's Marcus Smart, Kelly Olynyk, you name it. They need a couple guys to have off-the-chart nights, and they need to really beat up LeBron. Again, if Kyrie Irving's not playing in that game last night, Cavs probably don't win that, and LeBron has to, took a lot of that blame. But I think the Celtics need to come out physical. They need to hit him in the mouth early, and they need to sustain some consistency.
And Jay Crowder, the way he's been playing defense on LeBron, really slowing him down, and then obviously LeBron getting into foul trouble threw kind of a wrench in their plans. So Game 5 is Thursday night. Celtics down 3-1, trying to hold home court advantage and then send it back to Cleveland for Game 6. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk some Red Sox. They are kind of mired in mediocrity right now, and we'll see if Brett is jumping off the bandwagon and is giving up hope for the American League East Division title. We'll take a break. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.